The data furnished by the SW Corporation in 2021 shows that 38,000 tons of waste are generated in Malaysia, which is equivalent to about 1.1 kg per person. On average, food waste makes up the biggest composition of domestic waste, followed by plastic, paper, and textile. Moreover, a 2019 research report conducted by WWF showed that Malaysia ranks second in Asia for annual plastic use. Hi, I'm Yahui from Faculty of Health Science. This topic is relevant to society because everybody generates home waste every day. We eat meals, we use paper and plastic in daily life and generate waste in our houses. I was being taught by my parents since childhood. I have practiced home waste management all the time. I will separate recyclable waste into different boxes or large rubbish bags. Those recyclable waste would then be collected by recycling truck every weekend, and textile would then be sent to recycle station by ourselves. I will also separate kitchen waste after finishing meals so that it will not be thrown together with the container or plastic bag. For residual waste which cannot be recycled and reused, I will throw it into another rubbish bin and it was collected by a rubbish truck later. Moreover, I will always bring my own container when I want to take away at restaurant. I always bring my own recycle bag whenever buying groceries to reduce the use of plastic bag. Home waste management is very important because proper home waste handling can first prevent public health effect biologically. Second, it can reduce the waste amount sent to landfill site. Third, it can generate significant financial saving. In my speech today, I would like to emphasize the importance of home waste management and also suggest some of the methods that you can practice to reduce household waste. Let's move to the first point of today's topics, which is a proper home waste management can prevent public health effect biologically. There will be a trouble on public health when people dump food waste into drainage system or open space around the resident area. This may also happen when people discard empty bottles and containers without treating properly before throwing it away. Contaminated water and soil provide an optimum breeding site to biological vectors such as flies, rodents, and cockroaches. This vector can carry many diseases which are then transmitted to people living around the resident area. Rodents can transmit disease directly or indirectly. Some of the disease carried by them spread directly through their bites. In contrast, others can be passed indirectly through their droppings, urine, saliva, blood, or exposure to the fleas and mites that they carry. Houseflies feed on rotting and decaying matter, including human and animal feces. They accumulate the pathogen within their esophagus if their food source is contaminated by bacteria, virus, or parasites. Once they come to a solid food, the microorganisms living in the esophagus will then be transmitted to the item that they are consuming. Humans tend to get infected by the disease carried by flies when they accidentally ate the contaminated food. The disease transmitted by cockroaches are through mechanical transmission, whereby their body are contaminated with bacteria, which is then transferred to another surface they encounter as they are moving around. Humans can become exposed to potentially dangerous pathogens through contacting with the surface and food products that were contaminated by cockroach before. Some of the common diseases that are carried by this vector include diarrhea, leptospirosis, dysentery, and food poisoning. At the same time, bottles and containers that are thrown directly can hold water when raining, thus becoming a breeding site for mosquitoes, which can then lead to dengue problem around the living area. Undoubtedly, improper management of household waste can promote the breeding site and provide food source for disease-transmitting vectors that are suitable for them to produce their offspring and then lead to a breakout of a disease. Furthermore, managing home waste appropriately can prevent our environment from air, water, and soil pollution by reducing the waste amount sent to landfills. Landfills are the sites where they were designated to dump and bury collected waste. According to data from official website of National Solid Waste Department, Malaysia currently has more than 100 landfills. Without proper and efficient home waste management, a large quantity of domestic waste will end up in landfill site. Non-sanitary landfills will release leachate into the soil and contaminate nearby waterways, even affecting the aquatic systems. It is formed when the water filters through the waste deposited in the landfill, and it promotes the decomposition of process by bacteria and fungi. Some landfill gases are also released due to bacterial decomposition of organic waste and chemical reaction of certain substances present in the waste. The highest compound of the gas is methane, followed by carbon dioxide, nitrogen, ammonia, and hydrogen sulfide. These harmful gases not only lead to greenhouse effect, prolonged exposure to these gases can also cause coughing, nausea, respiratory disorder, and irritation of eyes, nose, throat, and lung. In some cases, flammable methane gas can cause explosions or fire at landfill site, which can further pollute the air. Therefore, we should play our role in practicing proper home waste management so that the waste will then be disposed to landfill site can be minimized and thus reduce its negative effects. Finally, practicing home waste management can reduce the cost when we focus on reducing, reusing, and recycling home waste. For example, we can save costs on purchasing new products just by extending the life of the item we bought before. We can always plan our meals, creating a shopping list, and purchase grocery in bulks to minimize the possibility of food wasting. The fewer things that are used and bought, the less waste are produced, and then the less it costs in total. Here, I would like to share some of the practice that I usually do for proper home waste management. First and foremost, we should know that home waste commonly can be classified into 4 different types, which are liquid waste, solid waste, organic waste, and hazardous waste. Here is an acrostic that may be helpful for you to remember the simple steps in managing home waste, which is by using the word earth. E stands for educate. Educate people around you to learn the importance and ways to practice home waste management. Teach them to recognize the type of household waste so that it could be easier to do further separation after you are familiar with it. A stands for assure. Assure that you separate the waste correctly according to the types of waste and clean it before disposing. The next alphabet is R. R gives the meaning of recycle, reuse, and reduce. Recycle paper, tins, cans, and plastic, reuse glass jar for storage, and reduce disposable waste. Next, T stands for think. Think carefully before buying more things than you need. Planning a buying list helps to control your consumption and being realistic while shopping. Last is the alphabet H, which stands for help. Help reduce the usage of plastic bag by bringing your own containers and recycling bag during shopping and having on cutlery if possible. Instead of throwing all the home waste without classifying, try to separate them according to their types. This makes it easier to be recycled or managed by rubbish truck. To summarize my speech today, I would like to emphasize again the importance of practicing home waste management. Home waste management is very important because it can control the number of pests when we reduce their breeding sites. It can reduce the amount of waste that disposed to landfill sites, thus reducing environment pollution, and it can help us in financial savings. A proper home waste management is always start from knowing the different types of home waste and separating them. Upon hearing my speech, I would like to persuade you all to start practicing home waste management from now on, using the word earth to help you remember what you should do while handling household waste. I hope that after you have made it as a habit, you can encourage people around you to practice this good routine too. Even it's only a small step that we can do to protect our environment, but always keep in mind that a big success always starts with a small step. You will never know, you will never bear the fruit before you start planting. So just begin practice managing home waste management by today. Thank you.